Hello again, XSI people. I realize it's been quite a while since version 0.00001, but I'd like to introduce SymmThings 2.0 with a very heavy emphasis on the zero. In other words, there's quite a large crippling bug. If you click around here, somewhere on the screen, you can skip forward to just that bug and how to avoid it. But yeah. Um, so yeah, it's been a month or so since I have actually touched the code. For the most part, it seems to work. Um, I wasn't going to ever release it because of the bug, or I was waiting till I would actually be able to fix the bug, but I figure I I will never actually do it. I don't. I might do it, but again, this was a plugin. This was a set of plugins made purely just for me, so that I could to improve the way I work. Yeah. Okay. So to install it, go add on install. I always set up. I always extract plugins to like my C users. Oh, desktop. Select. It's already at this folder, but if you go to paths, it's the user add-ons. Once you've got it. Okay, so SymmThings 2. Once it's installed, if you go to view toolbars, you'll find it. And it does actually, uh, this is the set size and dimensions. Okay, so I've kind of cheated this, like, my last video was pretty atrocious. So I've gone ahead and made a very simple character. He's rigged with like the gear rig, and he has shapes. If I go here, oops, he has like one one asymmetrical shape. Yeah, I know. It's awful. Okay. He also has a UV map. I did record making the UV map. There'll be a link somewhere, or if you check the description. Um, I should do more work. Like all of this could be joined up. Yeah, that's for another video, I guess. Um, Fortunately, I didn't record modeling it or the rigging. For the modeling, if you start with like a subdivided cube, you're pretty much spot on. For the rigging, I do plan on actually creating a gear tutorial for the eyelids. I'm sorry, but no. They take way too much work to actually do a video on. Maybe someday. Anyway, so let's get started. Okay, first off, I've got clone symmetry with cutting. So if I just hit run, this is all non-destructive. So your original mesh is the only change is it's hidden. And that's about it. Okay, so we've got our modeling mesh. Oh, one thing, make sure override object properties is off. I'm not sure if 2014 they seem to have changed it. I'll hopefully fix that. Um, I've given it basic display things. If you don't like I like it to be on a cube when it's unselected. If you don't like that, you can like just copy selected all, and he will always be a wireframe. It just means, well, for me, it means I have to hide it and then unhide it. If I undo all this, wow, seriously, XSI? You can change it to like wireframe near. So if I just quickly, like if you do that when you zoom in, it'll go to wireframe. If you zoom out, I don't know. It's all very cool and handy. I love XSI. Anyway, okay. So as you can probably see, the texture map has gotten. Oh, okay. I should say like this. This is like your preview model, and um, things like weights aren't. I think I disabled that. Yeah, the weight maps aren't transferred to this, and the UV maps do get halved. So if I go to the original, that's the original. Yeah. So this is not ideal if you're actually working in a proper scene, which is what I originally intended. So if it, sorry, okay. What I ended up doing was adding like a little bit of code to add a gator operation from the original mesh. So you can see this one has, it's hidden to start with purely because it really bogs down the scene if you're modeling with unhide and hide that. I don't need to hide that. Okay, if I skip forward, you can see it's got all its UV maps the way it should. It's got the weight maps the way it should. And what it effectively means is you can just, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. You can just, like if I hide them again. Oops. Like say I wanted to add something easy. If I wanted to add spikes to his head. And then I show him. It gets carried on, or I don't know. I still have the gator showing. See, that's the slowdown that I'm talking about. It's quite annoying. If I quickly add like a fingernail. 1 second. Ew. There. Yeah. That's pretty severely bad. I don't like recording. I don't like modeling when I'm recording. So yeah, if I'd added something like that, and then unhide the gator, you can see he gets the fingernail as well. It's all very cool. None of it, like, this is like 1 line of code or 3 lines of code. All of it is pretty much just the awesomeness of XSI. Again, you can see the slowdown for having the gear. Yeah, I thought that was cool. Is that it for this one? Oh, all of my scripts have been updated, so it doesn't really matter. Like the version zeros, I really should have come up with a better name. The original version, it hated when you had like things in a model. I've since figured that out. Like, and all the naming conventions, it should, as long as you leave these alone, it should like recognize. So like if I do that again, it'll ask if you want to cut it. Because it's just half a model, you'll say no. And then it adds like a 1. To undo anything, you just branch select the modeling one and delete, and that gets rid of everything. If you want, because of the way it's done, like this is probably the one that you'll want to keep working from. So like once you've done all this, you'll have this. Like if you say I wanted to continue with this character, I'd freeze modeling and then just like again branch select, delete that. So we've got this guy, then run clone symmetry again. And we have this new one will take on everything that the gator had. I hope all this makes sense. For some reason didn't hide. Yeah. I'm not sure why some of the things I've done aren't working in 2014. I will have to look into it. Oh, as for like the actual preview mesh isn't selectable. So I've got like, if you want to control its subdivisions or its surface, you can just go to here. And I did actually find out how to make that relative. So it will always be above whatever you're modeling. Okay, that's about it, I think. I think I've covered everything. If you want to, this one is purely only if you have like a half mesh. So it will just create a separate one. Oh, all of these are things like the merged mesh are actually, oops. If I can find it. Yeah, they have expressions, basically linking them to the modeling half. Purely because I found that if I was moving around the modeling half, the other mesh's center was being left at 0. But one caveat is never move. This is not a problem with the expressions, but never move the modeling half if you're planning on using. He doesn't have a gator for some reason. Okay. Never move this. Yeah. If you move the actual, I've not been able to find a workaround for this. If you move the modeling thing, yeah, it makes sense, I guess, but it's pretty. It's a shame. So yeah, Okay, so clean simmer is the same stuff, but oh, and it will also say if I ran by accident ran that, it'll ask if you want to cut it. So okay, that's about it. The shrink stuff. This is where I have issues. Like, actually, I might just delete everything, go back to the original. The actual symmetries, not symmetries, these ones I have added like a renaming part. So if I select like the center line and make a cluster, then just this will make a shrink, but it's kind of redundant now. Yeah, so I had a cluster selected and it'll rename it to CL and create a shrink center. Yeah. That's pretty much the problem that you have. See, it hasn't renamed it CL. Oh, it's all awful. So if I freeze modeling, oh, I really recommend either freeze modeling first, and then it should work. Fingers crossed. Yes. Yeah. So that's basically my it shrink maps the center to there. To where is it? It creates like a plane and shrink maps the cluster that you have. So yeah, either freeze modeling first or what I really recommend is just to, if I create a cluster, just hit enter and give it a name CL. I mean, that's how I've been using it. I know it's a wee bit of a pain, but as long as you do that, it will always work. So if I now go, if I add some modeling, and then say like a scale, it basically just adds a 0. It scales everything by 0 in the object's local x-axis. It will say, do you want to freeze? Because I've actually got move components and stuff. If you click no, say it does a quick check to say yeah. So you can, like if you've already run this, it will delete. Okay, I'll just I'll just show it. All right. Okay, so basically what we've got is, see if I select this, that's move component 2, move component 1, etc. Because it has to make another move component, it basically just checks, it counts the amount of move components and then That way it'll know which one to move into the animation stack. I've not been able to find out a nicer way. Like if I run it again, oops. If I run it again, what do you mean it's, oh. Okay. If I run it again, third time's the charm, eh? Do you want to freeze? Nope. So that would be move component 3. So if I click yes, it'll just basically delete that one. And then the new move component adds will get moved to the animation stack. So have I destroyed this? Okay, I think we're done with this guy anyway. Scale component, that is basically just select anything, I don't know, just to destroy this guy further. Is like the weakest. So click yes. So it's basically just scaled that to 0. It's not, yeah. Okay, reset CL cluster actually does. I'll start a new scene here. So primitive, maybe a sphere. Oops. So shrink. Oops. Create cluster. Shrink. Yep. Yep. Alright, so that will be shrink mapped, yeah. So this still has the same issues. I've not been able to find a workaround, like if I add some edge loops. The new edges are actually, the new points are actually getting added to the cluster. The cluster's going to either be point or edges, so anyway. If you watch the first video, you'll recognize it. But reset cluster now does actually reset the cluster. And if you've like turn off proportional, if you've like added subdivide, if you've extruded in used things, like say for a mouth or something, if you look at the actual cluster, if I isolate it, if you look at the cluster, the new edges haven't been added. So again, just Alt middle click. You can go add to cluster, or you can reset. Click add. Now they are added. 0x. It's basically like if I delete. Oops. If I delete the shrink wrap. Zero X does exactly what it says on the tin. It just adds a new move component to 0. Delete X if I create something new. It just does a quick slice and shows you the window. It's just a very fast way of doing things. Oh, I should mention, like, say my object isn't symmetrical. This goes for like the clone symmetry with cutting as well. Say I do delete X, delete X. You'll see it hasn't actually gone to the center. So what I normally do is snap offset point. That way it does actually pick center. It's probably not the best example, but yeah. Mirror clone. This is probably another one of my favorites. If I go back to like say mirror clone, I use for things like teeth. So like oops. You can see I'm awful at naming things, but I've got all these clones. Okay, I'll maybe just delete some of these, I guess. Hit mirror clone, and you've got your symmetrized clone. Go to its kinematics. It's got like an inverse kind of thing set up on everything. So it's kind of cool. Alright, so hit mirror clone again. And again. It doesn't really matter that this one's still selected. I like to have both selected for some reason. But all of my scripts should be aware of any eventuality, so it's not something you should ever have to worry about. Okay, that's awful. Yeah, you kind of get the idea. Like if I was to, because it's clone, like if I do any modeling to it, it will get carried over. Unfortunately, you can't actually rotate the clones, so I've skipped one. It'll go to. Oh, I should also mention that, like, say I select quite a few. Pretty much all of my scripts work with multiple selections now. So if I hit that, oops. Oh God, what have I done? Okay. Sorry. Have I just ruined this whole video? No. Okay. So if I select a lot of things without selecting that. You can easily like just keep adding details or whatever. All of these, like if I say parent create, I don't know, is it even worth showing? All of these will be parents of whoever they were parents for before. I'm failing badly. Okay. Mirror instance is pretty much the same, but for models. Like, I know I've not created a model, but if I hit it, it should create one. So you've got, oops. You've got like the model selected and it's created an instance that has a clone. No, it's just an instance. Okay. Um, for teeth, for anything, like say I wanted to make these a little less symmetrical. If I do object model on these, yeah, it's created a model for each of them, and now you can rotate. However, it's only the model null that is actually symmetrized to the original. And finally, I think that's about it. I know this is quite bad video. I will probably do another video, hopefully. I'm trying to think if I've missed anything. I might pause it. Give me a second. I think I've covered about everything. The only thing that I've possibly missed is the actual naming conventions. Everything now has simple checks to actually make sure that a name is available. Say I've got 3 clones and I run like my mirror clone. If I now go to say I want another clone of this mirror clone, it'll get renamed clone 4 clone. It's just a way to kind of make things easier, and again it works if you like. Oh, I should mention, like, if you look at the script editor, I have tried to intelligently uh, ignore objects like if you've selected objects that I don't feel that are needed to be shouldn't get the same treatment, they get ignored. As you can probably see, like these are local to their parent. That's probably one thing to keep in mind. It's something that I actually like. Like, it enables you to quickly change the mirroring point. Like, say these weren't connected to null. If I just quickly wanted to mirror things vertically, I could do it like that. Hope that makes sense. I have to seriously apologize for the fucking unprofessionalness of this video. Please remember, people, that I am just a 3D geek. I know nothing about making videos that are pronunciation. I'm trying my hardest. At least this video, strangely, I'm sober. I seem to be able to speak sober. Which, if you watched my first video, yeah, that wasn't that wasn't good. So yeah, the same goes for like the symmetry one. It tries to keep each one in the same name. I think I covered this already. Like, say I've got Taurus 1 here. If I run that again, it'll now become Taurus 3. So I've got, it's just a way to try and keep things kind of, I don't know, for me, it makes more sense this way. Anyway, I think that's about it. I I do have like a uh, tutorial manual, not a huge manual. It's about as unprofessional as this video, but I highly recommend probably at least skimming it. I I will add like exactly what the bug is and how to avoid it. Basically, basically all that happens is like a cluster gets renamed, but it doesn't get renamed. And as soon as you see that, like if you try and rename it, it tries to rename it CL, but it stays like as edge or point or whatever. If you, as far as I can tell, XSI thinks it's being renamed, but it hasn't been renamed. It's like if you try and rename it to CL, it'll come up as CL1. If any of you ever get anything like that, just as soon as you can, delete the model. If anyone knows a solution, please let me know in like comments or on the forum post. I'll probably put this in. But yeah, it's it's quite heartbreaking for me. I I don't like releasing something that's buggy, but again, I doubt I'll ever. I've lost all love for coding. It was a nice distraction for a while. But I'm fairly happy with what I've come up with, strangely. I use it every day, so I figured I might as well share it. Okay, I think that's about it. Um, Hopefully this doesn't kill anyone's computer or anything. Again, just if you see something weird, branch select like the modeling, just middle click it and delete. You you still have your original mesh, so it's non-destructive. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just repeating things now. Okay, that's it. Hope you enjoy. Uh, I I will probably do a tutorial on how to rig in gear soon, so keep an eye out for that, I guess. That's it. Again, I don't know how to finish video. Have fun, people. Peace.